Do you want to see new growth? Because I've got new growth for you. And this will not be a comprehensive plant tour. This is just going to be taking a peek at what's going on. A couple of the new growth are by virtue of being new plants, so it's a bit of a haul video as well. But mostly I just want to show off some fresh new green. So this is not super new, but these have been coming in. So isn't this huge? This is my oncidium from last year, that I bought last year, that it was called Hilo Firecracker, and it came in already pretty huge and with a number of spikes on it. But since then, it has grown 1, 2, 3, 4 new growth pieces over the winter, and well, over the end of the season and the beginning of this season. And I'm hopeful that that means I'll get spikes from it, but of course we can never tell for sure. New growth. I bought a vanilla plant, I bought a vanilla orchid. I will eventually have to start training it up something, because if you want it to bloom, it needs to be growing quite tall. However, as you can see, it's just a little baby, so I'm not putting the cart ahead of the horse on that. I'm just, you know, letting it do its thing right now, because it really just arrived. And for no special reason at all, at the same time, I got this Allocator lowrider, and it does have a new leaf coming in. It's dropping a couple of old leaves, probably because of its whatever transition from where it was to the plant shop to here. But I'm hopeful that it's going to behave reasonably well. Allocators are known to be fussy, and if you'll remember, I bought a very expensive Allocator at a local plant shop, and the first thing that happened was the entire top of it fell off. And then I've been growing roots on it since then. And actually, let's take a look at those roots now. So not only do we have roots, but we have secondary roots. Now, the thing is that allocators are supposed to have a bulb. This fell off its bulb. It broke off less than a week after I brought it home from the shop. Well, I did keep the bulb, but the bulb rotted away over winter. It was very small. So now I have this plant, and it is growing roots. I was thinking of getting it ready to transition into soil, but actually that was a couple of weeks ago I was thinking of that. And I'm like, you know what? I just wanted to see it with a lot more roots than that. So I'm considering whether at this point I could just give it a tiny bit of plant food, and if that would help it with everything. But I just don't know. But it's spring, so it'll be getting more light and more warmth as well. New growth. Okay, look at the baby leaves. Look at the shiny babies, and there are more shiny babies coming up. This is the Paleo pepperoni that had been living upstairs near a west-facing window. No, sorry, a north-facing window. And that's why we brought it downstairs, so that it can actually get a little more light from this west-facing window here. And because I have grow lights on this particular area, just bumping up the light quality in here. And it really has just rocketed up with these new leaves. It was getting a little droopy, it was a little sad where it was. So what we're hoping is that it can go upstairs during the summer. It will probably be happy enough up there, but we're just waiting to see, and in the meantime it's getting a nice boost, and obviously I'm very happy with that. Is that new growth? No, that's a parrot. No, there's new growth back here though. Actually, let me pick her up. So this is my paphiopedilum warty. Now, last year, out of its main crown of leaves, it finally gave me a new bloom after 3 years. Then toward the end of the season, it started putting out this huge piece of new growth here. But then today I was looking at it and I noticed it's got another small new growth popping up. So that's interesting, and I don't know why it's doing that. And we have a deal, which is that I don't ask it to bloom and it doesn't die, and that's a pretty good deal for me. but I am really wondering why it's putting out another set of leaves. So we'll see what it does. So this orchid in this pink pot here, I bought this in the middle of winter, which was a bad idea, and it got delayed in shipping, which I kind of should have expected. So I was expecting it to arrive in spike, and it arrived just completely blasted, which was not too surprising. So I did note that it had really fantastic roots on it, and I was hopeful that this year we'd see some growth out of it to make up for that bad condition that unfortunately I set it up for by buying it when I did. And today I noticed that down here it has brand new growth coming in, all pretty and shiny. So I don't know, again, I don't know if this is something I'll get a spike off this year, but I'm just happy to see it is really busting out there. And this one at the back is the Bretonia Lavender Taffy and the variation Lavender Kisses. And again, today I was just looking at it and somehow I missed this entire new growth having shot up out of nowhere. So that is new this year. And as you can see, this one gets a lot of that beautiful west-facing window light, and I think it really appreciates it. Unlike some other plants, you don't necessarily expect to see all of your orchids be a very dark green. They will sometimes look like a brighter green if they're healthy, and so I really like to see that. Okay, and this is an old fan favorite, no pun intended. This is the palm, the Parlor palm, and as you can see, this one is, this spike of leaf has opened up, fresh and green, and we've got this other giant new leaf coming in over here, new frond coming in, so very excited, and some smaller ones. This is just my micans that I bought last year. I did put it on a hoop because I wanted it to have something to climb, and it did take off like crazy, so pretty new growth all around there. But this one is almost always giving me pretty new growth. But look at that lovely red velvet. Yeah, it's pretty great. So that's the new growth I have to share right now. We do have things going on, not too much going on right now in the propagations yet. The Hypoestes phylostachya have really actually kicked off with some roots, which is neat. But we got nothing yet from the Fittonia. So patience, I only put them in 2 weeks ago, so I'm trying not to get too stressed out about that. But yep, lots of new growth, lots of happy green, and it really feels like spring is just kicking off and full steam ahead here.